Hello, it's Liz, CEO of Worth It, positive and organisational psychologist and educator in the field of school mental health and wellbeing. So I've been doing a few videos on sort of key campaign days that are important for school mental health and wellbeing. So I've done Mental Health Awareness Day, World Mental Health Day, Mental Health Awareness Week, World Kindness Day. Today I'm going to talk about Anti-Bullying Week and the intersect between mental health and bullying. Now, I'm not an expert on bullying because we tend to specialise at Worth It in an appreciative approach, which is where we focus on the things we want to see and the behaviours that we want to see more of, rather than a reduction or a deficit-based approach. So anti-anything, anti-bullying, anti-stigma is not really terminology that I use and all feel that comfortable with, but I think it's an important topic to talk about, so I'm going to talk about it today. So what's interesting about anti-bullying or bullying and mental health is that they can intersect together and one can cause the other, or one can make the other one worse. So what do I mean by that? So a child or a young person can be bullied, and it can then contribute to them developing mental health problems. And there is a significant amount of longitudinal data about how bullying has impacted on mental health of children and young people into adulthood. And I personally know people that were severely bullied at school, and it has absolutely had a traumatic effect on them, and they contributed to mental illness. One of my major inspirations for Worth It was like 12 years ago. We were doing a project with adult carers because we originally started working with adults like years ago, and one of the mums, who was a mother with severe mental illness, was a full-time carer for her adult son, who was in his 30s, who got schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. And she said, and I'll never forget this because it was one of the biggest inspirations for my work, was it all started when he was 14 at school and he was getting bullied. But he was also a young carer. Well, she had mental health problems, so he was living in a family with a mother with mental illness, so he was much more likely to get mental illness himself. There's lots of statistics about that. I mean, I could make a whole nother video about that. And yeah, he was bullied. So he's 35, 12, so he'll be 40 odd now. So this was in the 80s, and that definitely triggered some of his mental health problems. And his mum put that down to that, where he was bedridden and at home all the time, and she was a full-time carer for him because he wasn't able to function or work or have a normal life. And what we also know with adolescent brain development and the onset of mental health problems is that 50% of adult mental health problems start in puberty around the age of 14. 50%. So being bullied as a child or a young person can, during that developmental stage of brain development, if we don't use it, we lose it. Those neural pathways are actually stripped down and rebuilt. So if you're reinforced at that time by bullies that you're useless, worthless, stupid, fat, thick, whatever the terms that they're saying to you, it's going to get hardwired into your brain, and then you're going to take that through to adulthood. So if we can help prevent bullying happening in the first place, we are helping then protect mental health and well-being and prevent the onset of mental health problems, which is my thing that I am passionate about. So bullying is a contributing factor that can impact on mental health and well-being. So bullying causes mental health problems, but also children get bullied because they have mental health problems, or teenagers. So if you're anxious and you're behaving slightly odd because you're stressed, nervous, sweating, fidgeting, acting out, causing trouble, and other kids find that irritating and annoying, they might single that child out because of their behaviour to then target them, to bully them. So if they're anxious and vulnerable and self-conscious and socially awkward, then they're much more of a target for bullies to pick on them. As well as children that might be socially isolating themselves, having symptoms of depression, withdrawing, feeling sad, having low mood, and then they're an easy target for bullies to pick on them. So bullying children because of their mental health problems is another thing to think about, where mental health and bullying intersect. So, and how the two can make each other so much worse. Also, it's important to think about the bully, and it's not just the victim of the bullying. The bully can also be bullying another child or young person because they've got poor mental health and well-being, and it's a way of feeling in control, or it's a way, well, I feel crap, so I'm going to make you feel crap. Or I don't like something about you, or whatever their reason is. They're also a victim in this, and they also have things that they need help with. So, as you know, I specialise in wellbeing and preventing mental health problems. And I personally feel, although I think anti-bullying campaigning is very, very important, and there's lots of amazing free resources, like the Anti-Bullying Alliance have got amazing free stuff, courses, workshops, inset day, like assembly materials, loads of really, really useful stuff. So definitely look at that. But I would challenge you, as a school mental health lead, as a person that wants to tackle bullying, to think of the opposite. So what's the positive opposite of anti-bullying? So that's this phrase that we use in coaching quite often. What's the positive opposite of that? So the positive opposite of anti-bullying to me is promoting positive relationships. And what we know from the protection and promotion of mental health and well-being is that to promote positive relationships is one of the 6 pathways to flourishing. So flourishing means functioning well, feeling good day to day, and overall good for me and good for those around me. So if a child or young person is flourishing, they are not going to be a bully. They are not going to, and they also are going to be resilient to adversity and challenges such as getting bullied. So, and it's much more likely to get nipped in the bud quicker. If it does happen, it can be shut down a lot quicker and not have this lasting negative, terrible effect on children and young people. So, yeah, how do we promote positive relationships? And one of the ways to do that is a culture of kindness. It's really great that Anti-Bullying Week starts with World Kindness Day, or this year it's starting with World Kindness Day, but usually World Kindness Day is during Anti-Bullying Week, which is the 13th of November. And I have a video on World Kindness Day, so I'll link to that above. So in promoting strategies for kindness and connection and belonging and trust and empathy, they are all important factors to promote positive relationships. So instead of saying we are preventing bullying and having an anti-bullying policy and having an anti-bullying process, I want to champion the cause of a positive relationships strategy or policy, a positive communication charter, things that promote active listening, or empathy, or trust, or acceptance. Because if you have all of those things, you then don't need to put in place anti-bullying anything. But that is a bit of a mindset shift that is hard to get your head around, because we have this negativity bias and we tend to focus on the things that grab our attention and are challenging, rather than appreciating the positives and growing the positives. So kind of fighting against human nature a little bit when I talk about this stuff around increasing positive relationships and having a positive relationship policy rather than an anti-bullying policy, because an anti-bullying policy kind of is driven by that negativity bias around the more attention grabbing, reducing the negatives rather than increasing the positives. So just a brief video on bullying. And if you're interested in understanding more about kindness, which is my positive opposite approach to bullying, sign up for our Kindness Interventions workshop, which is on the 14th of November 2023. You can sign up on the link below, and our website has a lot of materials and resources around developing kindness and positive relationships, and how they're an approach to tackle and prevent the onset of mental health problems and factors that contribute to mental health problems, such as bullying. So I hope that you found this video helpful, and I'll be back with another one soon.